Hello everybody, welcome you all at Learning is Fun with Prajnaparamita. After a long vacation, I am again with you with another important video lesson. And today's lesson is very important because this lesson may help to develop your both the speaking skill and your writing skill. So stay with me till the end to know what is the lesson about. And the today's lesson is about interrogative sentences because this is a very important thing. While asking questions in several occasions, you have to form an interrogative sentence. Those who have watched my videos about English sentences already know what is an interrogative sentence. So here there is an example for you. The monkey likes banana. Of course, this is an assertive sentence, and now I am going to tell you how to make it an interrogative one. And here the example for you. Does monkey like banana? And another example for you. The boy ate an apple. This is, of course, an interrogative, not an interrogative sentence, assertive sentence. And you can turn it into an interrogative sentence in another way. You can say that, what did the boy eat? Here you find that you have to put an question word and auxiliary do to make that sentence into an interrogative one. So here there are two types of interrogative sentence, or in other way you can say that there are two types or two ways you can form an interrogative sentence. That is, you can put an auxiliary for before a subject, or you can supply or you can use question words like who, what, which, that is a WH word. You can say that all these are used to form an interrogative sentence. Now I am going to tell you how to form an interrogative sentence with the help of an auxiliary verb. In any type of interrogative sentences, auxiliary verb comes before subject. And as you have already know that when you are going to form any type of sentences, like an assertive sentence, you have to put first subject then verb. But when it is an interrogative sentence, you have to put verb first then subject. And here at the example for you, look at the example. Tom will, when it is an interrogative structure, you start verb first. Will Tom be here tomorrow? Another example for you. Have you? You have just here, look at the subject and verb structure. You find verb first in any type of interrogative sentence. Have you been walking hard? And there is an important thing you have to keep in mind here. That is, remember the subject comes after the first verb. An example make it clear for you. That is Catherine walking today? You never say, is walking Catherine today? This is not the proper way of asking a question, because you have to put subject in between the auxiliary and the main verb. Here you find is an auxiliary be and Catherine the subject and then the main verb. So here you do not say is walking Catherine. Instead of that, the proper use of the correct sentence should be like that, is Catherine walking today? Now I am going to tell you about auxiliary do. This is a very important thing. When there is no other auxiliary verbs in a sentence, you have to use do to make it an interrogative one. And this is a very important thing because do verb is a very important verb. And if you want to know more about be, do, have, you may watch my video lesson about these verbs. I will provide the link in the description box below. So In simple present tense, when you are going to ask a question, you have to use do or does. But when it is a past tense, you have to simply use did. So now let's see the examples. And here also, if it is an assertive sentence, as I have told you earlier, the subject and verb order is like that. You have to put the subject first, then verb. But when it is an interrogative one, you have to put verb first, then subject. And here, you live, do you live? Do you live near market? Or he goes, does he go? Does he go to school today? And in simple past question, we have to use did. Here, you lived, did you live near market? Or he went, did he go? Here you find you have to use did and then the infinitive form, that is go. Now, very important thing again, the interrogative, when you are going to make an interrogative sentence, the problem is that you have to put in simple past tense or simple present tense, you have to use the infinitive form of verb, that is the first form of verb without to. And here the examples make the thing clear. The boy watches the star. This is an assertive sentence, and when you are going to make it an interrogative, does the boy watch the star? Look at the verb. Here you have to use the verb watch, because you have to use does when you are going to make an interrogative sentence, and the infinitive form of verb, that is not watches, you have to use watch without to. Not to watch, you have to use only watch. And here, does the boy watches the star? This is not an correct use. You have to keep in mind, when you have to use does, you have to use watch instead of watches. Another important thing in case of simple past tense, look at the example again. The boy watched the star. Here you find did auxiliary did the boy watch the star? Again, the infinitive form of verb you have to use. In that case also, you do not use did the boy watch the star. This is not a proper use. Now, do not used with other auxiliary. That is, we do not use do auxiliary do, when there are other auxiliary verbs. For example, if you are asking that, are you ready? Here, you do not say, do you are ready? This is not the proper use. Again, can you tell me the time? You do not say, do you can tell me the time? Here, can itself is an auxiliary verb. When there is an auxiliary verb present in a sentence, you do not use do in that case. And here also, have you seen Johnny? Here you find you never say, do you have seen Johnny? Because have is an auxiliary verb which is already there in a sentence. So you have to put that auxiliary verb before subject to form an interrogative one. In that case, you do not use auxiliary do if there is other auxiliary verb. And again, I am repeating the fact, infinitive without to, because after do or after auxiliary verb, after do auxiliary, when auxiliary do is used, we do not use the infinitive verb with to. Now let's see the example that will help you to understand more clearly. Here, did you go climbing last weekend? Here you never say did you to go, because you have to use go. That of course it is an infinitive form of verb, but without to. This is a very vital thing, as I have told you earlier. You never say did you went. In that case also, you have to put the bare verb form, that is bare means the first verb form, that is go. And now I am going to tell you how you can able to form questions or interrogative sentence with the help of question words. So there are some vital point you have to keep in mind when you are going to form an interrogative sentence with the help of question word. And what are those important points? Now I am going to tell you. That is, when, who, which, what or whose is used as a subject or part of subject, we do not use do verb. We do not use auxiliary do there. If there is a question word and that question word directly asks question about subject, in that case we do not use auxiliary do. So what are the examples? If you see the example, you can understand more clearly. So let's see the example now. Who left the door open? So here you never say who did leave, because who directly question about the subject. So if the WH word or the question word directly asks question about the subject, we do not use auxiliary do. More example for you. Here, which type of battery lasts longest? Here we do not say which type of battery does last longest or what happened. We never say what did happen. And how many people work in your office, but we never say how many people do work in your office, because these who, which, what and how, all these question words or all these WH words ask the question about the subject. So this is a very vital point, just keep it in mind. But we can use do with an WH word or a question word also. So why or when we can use do, now I am going to tell you. That is, when a question word is an object, that is, when that question words asked a question about an object, we have to use auxiliary do. So let's see the example. So here there is a comparison for you. This comparison may help you to understand this thing. That is, who, when who is an object. Emma phoned somebody. Here somebody, if I ask a question, who did Emma phone? My answer should be, I am asking the question about object. So I have to use auxiliary verb after who, after that question word. But if the sentence, the assertive sentence is like that, somebody phoned Emma, now the question or the WH word or the question word are used in the position of the subject. In that case, auxiliary do is not used. That is, who phoned Emma. I hope you understand this point clearly. This is a very simple point. If WH word or the question word asks the question about object or placed about your answer in other way, if the WH word is used to ask a question about the object, that is, your answer should be the object one. That Emma phoned somebody. Who did Emma phone? Here, who did Emma phone? Your answer is somebody. But if your answer is subject, that is, somebody phoned Emma, here you find who phoned Emma, that is, your answer is somebody. There you do not use auxiliary do. Now another point, if you just keep it in mind, because this is an exception, do, auxiliary do verb, can be used with a question word when it is subject. That is really, yes, I am talking about that. This is an exception. That is, when after a subject question word for emphasis or to insist about the answer, you can, when you are just traced your question or you are insisting, just tell me the answer, in that case you can use auxiliary verb. If when the WH word or the question word is a subject, that is, so who did marry the prince in the end. Here you find that who is a subject, but still did is used because my I am going to ask, or I am just emphasize the whole scenario, or I am insist somebody to tell me the answer. Just tell me the answer. That is to trace that thing. You can use auxiliary do when the WH word or the question word is a subject. Now, another important point, the position of a preposition while asking a question. In generally, the preposition with question beginning with who and which, etc., you have to place the preposition just at the end, not at the beginning. Who do you want to speak to? And here, what was the weather like yesterday? And which job has Tina applied for? In all these cases, you find that the position of preposition either at the end or at the just before the last word, that is a yesterday, just before that thing, the last word. But another important point, because preposition plus whom can be used both in formal and informal style. That is here can you can use preposition plus whom in formal style. That is to whom do you wish to speak? Here you find to can be used just at the beginning. But in all these cases, another example, where are you from? You do not say from where are you. This is not the proper use. I hope you like this video. If you have any queries regarding these sentences, you can ask me questions in the comment section. I will definitely reply those who comment regularly. So no more today. Thank you for listening, and bye bye.